Well, welcome to the More Cheese Less Whiskers podcast. My name is Dean Jackson, and today we're talking with Charles Wallace from California. And we had a great conversation because we were starting out with one idea of creating a program around all the things that Charles has learned being a football coach and about performance and about elite performance specifically. And as we talked, it became evident that Charles has a passion for guiding quarterbacks and who have the great opportunity to really maximize their abilities, but it requires the discipline. It requires the a systems approach to the way you're developing your career. And we had a great conversation kind of outlining how to approach something like this in a way that helps you narrow your focus to a single target audience, but also create something that has an outcome that's worth pursuing. So I think you're going to enjoy this episode, and here we go.
Charles Wallace.
Yes, sir.
There he is. How are you?
I'm going great. How you doing this morning?
I am good. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Southern California, a little town outside of Los Angeles called West Covina.
Okay, perfect. So I am excited to hear all about what you got going on. I read a little bit briefly about your what you're working on, but I want to hear the whole story from you here and then see where we can go from there.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, I'll be brief. I've been coaching high school football for about 20 years, mixed in with that. Also youth football as well. And then mixed in with that, helped out with the sheriff department. They had a team, Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, the Grizzly team, helped out with that team as well. And then while I've been coaching football, just been involved with business, various jobs, and then trying to branch out and do my own thing, become an entrepreneur. And then in our process, just been studying business, just how our business is successful. And what I started to see is just a parallel between, business is a lot like sports, a lot like the game I love in football. And then I just started looking at who are successful, the people that are really successful in football. You understand one thing, there's not bad teams, there's only bad leadership. And the top coaches, you see their leadership is they lead they're a leader in their industry, so that correlation between that and then just seeing like how good businesses operate, how the process that they use to find the leaks, fix it. The very good businesses that really care about their people. It's the same in football and the relationships you build. And the longer I've been coaching, it's less about scheme. It's more about the people. So it's fun to see that correlation. So what I want to do is just show coaches, how you can use the business process to help your program. And the same thing with businesses. If I can show businesses how, it's less about your numbers, it's more about your people. And use some of the processes we use in football.
Yes.
Yeah, we use some of the processes we use in football to find the leaks, like how we watch film, and we have to find out what's wrong fast, So we use film, like we record that's our process. We watch tape or we review, and we get better. We create drills to fix what needs to be fixed, and I think in the business world you could take that and use it to fix the leaks fast, rather than waiting a quarter or seeing your numbers. No, things need to be fixed instantly so you can win.
Yeah, there's so many parallels in both ways. I totally see what you mean. I mean, the whole, you think about an NFL team or any football team, anything, all the way down, they all mirror the same thing. Everybody's unified for a single purpose, which is to win games and ultimately win the championship, right? Win it at the end of the year. It's all competitive. Everybody's rounded on a specific goal. Everybody knows that none of them can do it on their own, and that requires operating as a unit to do all the things that a football team needs to do to get to the prize. Yeah, so I totally see that. I mean, there's a lot of parallels in football in everything. I mean, even football, the individual football players are, at the NFL level, the elite of the elite who've spent their whole lives coming up through systems like you've been a part of to get to that level,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's so many neat things. Have you, in your 20 years, have you coached or been around anybody who's made it to the NFL or made it through the system?
I have a couple of kids that have played high level Division one football. A couple of kids that went to USC playing receiver. A couple of kids went to Washington State. So I've been around, and I know the difference between that top 1%. Like, you see it instantly, and it's easy. It's the work ethic. Not only are they have God-given talent, but they work harder than everybody. So it's when you couple that. And then they want to be coached hard because they want to get to that level. Like, and I see it like even in the business world, when you take a talented employee and that employee matches his skill with a very good work ethic, it's a win-win. And that's the top 1%. That's the separator. You want to be uncommon amongst the uncommon. That's what it is. Using your ability and working hard, very hard, to make that better. And when you make that better, you have an all-star employee, you have an all-star player. It's just you can't beat that. That process doesn't change.
Yeah, I mean that's something, isn't it? That I mean that's what's the old saying that talent beats hard work, but unless someone comes up talent and hard work, that's really the thing that it's the trump card. It takes talent to do it, but the hard work is a given.
Yes,
that's an interesting. Or the talent is a given. The hard work is really what the differentiator is. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me about then what your so you're thinking about these coaches then. If we're saying you're looking to create a business around this kind of
I want to see if I can. Yes, I want to see if I could create a business around the premise of how do we get, because I think we're in a crossroads right now with kids in general, just in society in general, and because it's harder at this time, and where we are right now as a human race. It's harder right now to get everyone on the same page. It's hard to build really good teams. It's hard for whatever reason. I don't know if it's people are just more individualistic, but it's hard to bring people together and come and realize a common goal.
I think probably one of the things is in the new generation now too, like the kids that are growing up have never been in a world without social media, without games and the internet, right? They've never been in that world. How old are you, Charles?
I'm 42 years old. So
okay,
I'm more. Yeah, I've seen it.
You've seen it, yeah. So you had the tail end of, you kind of remember when you were young. There really wasn't internet, but yeah. So you've seen and experienced that. Now the whole thing, you've also seen as when you were old enough to get awareness of it. What year is 42? You were born in
1978.
1978. Okay. So your whole childhood was analog. I mean, no digital stuff. So youth football and all of that stuff was really it was one of the things that you did for entertainment and for engagement. Like your attention had to be involved in something, right? And so after school programs filled a role of it's that or do nothing, really, right? I mean, you're not gonna. It's not even at that point. There wasn't all the other options that we have, and so now you see. You know, there was a difference between athletes and then the people playing Dungeons and Dragons or something, which was like right, like the old world of gaming. That was gaming then before the all the fantasy kind of games. And I wonder now, it's like now that's all about. There's probably more kids playing Madden football than real football, and
I think so. I think so.
And and they're softer kids probably. I mean, in terms of not as athletic or not as because their world isn't about being outside playing and climbing trees and doing all the stuff that we did growing up. They're more indoor cats. So I get all of that. That's an interesting thing. And so the coaches, you're trying to help coaches really make the programs a success.
Yes, because I was gonna get out of coaching because I didn't know how to coach this new generation. I didn't know how to reach them. So I had to spend time learning. Okay, how do I reach these kids? You know what I mean? So if I wanted to get out of coaching, I think there's a lot of other coaches that want to as well. And you see the decline. So,
do you make your living as a coach? Are you a high school?
No, I do. I mean, I have coached high level. I have coached, at the highest level in California, which is in the Trinity League and Division I, football. Like I've coached at the high level, but it's not like that's not how like most coaches do not make their living off of coaching. Just usually they're going to pay the head coach who's going to get a large salary than everybody else under that. But it's just I've never wanted to take that next jump. If you want to make money, you got to go to college, or be at one of the top level high school programs and be a head coach. That's just I'm not there yet. Where I want. That's just really what I'm inspired to. I think for me personally, I like the business. Like I would rather own a couple of businesses than be a head coach.
Yes. Okay. And so are all the coaches in that same situation? I'm just thinking of from a business standpoint, when we look at this, the part of the thing that you have to do is kind of size up the viability in the market for it. Right? So when you look at it, when you ultimately say, who do you want to be a hero to? Right? Who is it that you're trying to serve? You're saying it's the coaches of the programs who are doing it for the love. Now, what is the who would pay for what it is that you're doing?
So here's the thing.
That's how you gotta think about it when you turn it into a business, right?
So what I would do, I mean, when I think about it that way, I'm probably going to attack those high level programs that we're let's be honest, like in private schools, like if you're not winning, your enrollment's probably going to be down, and you're going to get fired. You're going to lose your job. So I would need to be a hero to them first. Because there is it's a benefit for them to, number one, like what I would like to do is most coaches, when they hire other coaches, it's just an interview. They'll kind of check your background and that's it. But I think what they're lacking is like in a business, when you hire an employee, that onboarding process and the process that they're going to teach you about the culture. And let you know how this is how we do things. You know what I mean? Like this is what we're about. This is how we do things. And I think that right there is lacking. Just the how we're grooming the people that's coming into our culture. You can't just let anybody. I think we're just letting anyone in and not really teaching them about, okay, this is our culture. This is what we need to be teaching our kids. So I would try and attack like building a program where coaches can mentor their coaches. I think that would be huge, and then the mentorship with the head coach, where he can coach his coaches, and build that relationship, that bond where we're all doing this together to get the program to a certain level.
So I wonder, thinking this through here, when you say that, enrollment is that when you think about like private schools or whatever,
yes,
there's almost, I would almost take this approach of tying it into, because somebody is going to be paying for this, right?
Yes.
And the coaches are going to have to kind of go to, it's maybe not the coach that you're talking about, but the program director, right? Is that who?
Yes.
Or the
yes. It could be the athletic director or the head coach, but they need to see the value in developing their coaches.
And it's not just for, if you think about the athletic directors, then it's not just about the same things would be true for lacrosse or are you saying your things are specifically about football?
No,
but
I think it's sports in general, or even their teachers. To have a good teacher.
Well, it's kind of timely because there's lots of on 60 Minutes this week. I don't know whether you saw it. There was a feature about the all the sports programs that are getting canceled right now because of it's a different world. People aren't coming to things. All the revenue is down, and of course they're not cutting the football programs, but they're cutting all these other sports, right? That are not revenue generators. Specifically, they were talking about the track team and the gymnastics team, and all that's happening all around the country right now. So the words that came to my mind when you were talking about this is linking the, no athletic director ever got fired after on a championship season. If the team's winning, everybody's happy, right? So it's job security if you want to be a hero to them. And so any program that you were doing for coaches would it be paid for by an athletic director or out of a budget for the programs, or would coaches be paying for that out of their own?
I would try. I mean, like for me and personally, like I have a coach for myself, that I come out of pocket for because I see the value in it. Like the only way for me, I'm at a certain level. For only way for I'm gonna get to that next level, I need a coach. So I see the value in that for me. But most coaches, they're probably not going to pay. There will probably have to be something in the budget, to help, especially now with these times. It would have to be something the school would need to see the value in.
Yes. And so that would be, do you have any, you mentioned some things about programs when they're losing, that their registrations drop and, all of that kind of trickle down effect. Yes. Do you have evidence of, and this would be an amazing thing, do you have evidence of programs that, were losing programs, they put an emphasis on football or on some intervention, some doing something, and when they started winning, that enrollment goes up. And likewise, the same thing, programs that were winning and are now losing.
Yes, I do. I can easily get those numbers because it's simple. When these high programs are winning, not only are you getting kids coming in, like on the freshman level, you start getting transfers. So on each level, you can count the numbers. So on the freshman level, if you're starting off with 30 kids, junior varsity, 25, varsity 60, and you start winning, you start seeing the freshman level increase. Like there's just a direct correlation on each level.
Yes. And you're talking about high school levels now, or on
high school level? I'm talking high school.
Yeah, high school levels, right?
Yep.
Because you think about that when you look at the difference, I mean, I think that there's something to be said about that winning. That it's all about that pride, right? The association with winning teams that everybody wants to be a part of. And when the deep psychology of this, as you go down here, that what's riding on it, I mean, to wear the jersey, to wear the hats, the gear, to wear the logo of the team, that pride. Nobody's wearing the losers. It's interesting. There's a lot more. It's so funny, and winners carry in. There's a lot of new Tampa Bay fans that have come along with Tom Brady, right? Even though Tampa Bay is a great, we've had a great team and great runs, but and a really great fan base, and a lot of that was I remember 1976 when the Tampa Bay Bucks started.
Just the cream jerseys.
The coolest jersey ever, right? Like, how cool was that Tampa Bay Bucks jersey?
Oh, right? Man, I remember that, yeah.
Yes. And so you look at that, and it's like that built a lot of fan base, So I wonder, there's an interesting thing if you were to position something with athletic directors as, return on winning kind of thing. Gotcha. Turning football program success into bottom line profits and job security, or the whole, that's their thing, is going to be the job security, but it turns it into profits for the school.
Yes, it does.
Almost like who would be the athletic director's boss? Who's almost like if you could get the CFO or somebody thinking about the principal, maybe, right, has to be behind, because whatever the principal is saying, he's kind of steering the ship, right?
Yes. I don't know how it is in other states, but I know in California right now there's a big push for not public schools, but not even private schools, but charter schools. So what these charter schools are doing is they got smart. They're starting to start sports programs, and high schools are losing. They're losing, those top kids. They're going to these charter schools because they're getting to focus on sports plus the education. So there's it's not alarming yet, but there's a push where kids are leaving the private sector and the public sector and going to charter schools. Yeah.
Well, I think that whole thing too is, that there's a lot of that has to do with, you can make an argument about design and, creating an environment that's sexy or feels, good, to be pride, that you want to be a part of that, and the swag that goes with it, the uniforms or the colors or the stuff that you wear to show your representation, that you're, there's a reason, everybody um, always favors the certain things. I mean, we look at the Champions having a bit of a run right now, but you and I remember when Champion was like a lower level brand.
Yes. Yes,
but it's funny, right? Like when we were growing up, Champion was just like the lower level brand, football kind of undergarment brand,
Yes.
And now they're, it's like
they're huge. They're huge now.
Yeah, exactly. And supreme. Kind of funny. So I think there's something there. You're kind of taking that approach. Anytime you can build a case for something, it's going to go a long way. So I'm kind of exploring that with you. If you can show the the return on winning, which is ultimately what all of this, once they're set on winning, and the outcome is increased enrollments and revenue.
Yes.
Everybody kind of intuitively knows the reason that people, at the college level, spend so much money on head coaches is because the importance of winning. That's why they do it, right? Yes. And obviously in high school, they don't have that kind of budget, but imagine that there's some competition among getting the best available coaches for the budget that they have.
Oh yeah. The private schools have more money to work with, so they're going to get the upper tier coaches. So everybody goes there first, and then the publics get pretty much what they get.
So how would you, when you think about if we could wave a magic wand and design your outcome, what is it that you want to do? What does that look like?
It would look. I've been thinking about this because I can't just get completely around it yet. But I would think if I was at my end point, it would look like this. I'm able to help coaches develop their coaches, and also add value to that head coach where he's staying. I'm able to coach him or provide a service to coach him where he's staying ahead of any curves that's coming, any trends that's coming. And I would my focus would be more on the mental aspect rather than the X's and O's. I want to focus on the mental aspect of getting to push him to that topper, to push towards performing at a high level, and get and really pay attention to the key performance indicators. So we can find the leak fast and focus on team building.
And have you done any of this with have you been doing coaching with people so far?
You know what? I've been doing it not on a paid level. I've been doing it just because I know I want to do it. So I just started doing it. I started coaching a group of kids. Started coaching a couple of friends that I have. Just because I know I want to get in the industry, like I want to do it. So I just been doing it for free, just to do it, and I enjoy it.
When you say coaching kids, who do you mean?
Like quarterbacks, because like the quarterback position is so much pressure. So like I said, I focus on the mental aspect of like quarterback. You need to be a leader. Like people have to believe in that huddle, like all the way around. Like what does a leader look like? It looks like it's a servant. You know what I mean? Like what is a servant like? So I just been like just teaching kids, what does a leader look like? Because you as a quarterback, you need to perform at a high level. So that's what I'm teaching the younger kids.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, so that's a different sort of program than the coaches.
Yes,
in a way. And you can imagine that might be there might be an opportunity there, in just because that's an interesting thing. Imagine that there might be some opportunity around that, or there might
huge.
be an existing. Is there
huge.
quarterback coaching that's available, or?
Yes. It's just there's two parts. So there's on the field coaches where they just focus on mechanics, and footwork, stuff like that. My thing is more mental, where like I show them like this is how you break down the defense. This is how you process a coverage. This is what you're looking for in your reads. So I'll take I'm more of like I want to focus on the mental aspect. Like let's get on the Zoom and let's watch a defense. Let's watch what you're doing. I'm more of that part. Like I don't want to get on the field and do all the throwing. And I think more it's more mental than like you can because at the end of the day, the physical part adds up when you get to the highest level, which is the NFL. Everybody has a rocket arm, has great footwork, but what's the difference? The difference is always mental. So for me, that's my focus. So I'm more of like you're going to become a leader, and you're going to know how to operate when you need to at the highest level. You get to perform at your highest peak when you need it.
And so I wonder, do you? There might be an opportunity to work with quarterbacks like that. Like I look at what I'm going through here is I'm kind of bookending for you the way I think about this stuff on the 8 profit activators. Profit activator number 1 is select a single target market, and we have to bookend that with what's the ideal thing that you want. What is it what's the end result? Like I would say, if you could imagine, like what's the what would be the best thing that you could do for somebody, like knowing everything now, if somebody would just get out of the way and let you do it, what's the biggest impact that you could have on?
My biggest impact would be working with the top 1% of quarterbacks in the country, like the kids that you're going to college, the kids that are in college, or the kids that's on the cusp of going to the NFL. Like that is where my end goal would want to be. Working with
that would be your dream.
1%. Yes, that would be my dream.
Yeah. Okay. And so that's a really interesting thing, and there's something about that. Like, so I used to be a tennis player, and I would train. This was in the 80s when elite tennis was really kind of getting
tennis was huge,
a thing. That there were 2 big players in this whole idea of the academy. These coaching academies, and so there was Nick Bollettieri and there was Rick Macy. And
I saw the documentary on Bollettieri, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So I trained with Rick Macy, and Rick has trained, I don't know how many now, 5 or 7 number 1s in the world that have come through. Like when I was there, Jennifer Capriati was just coming up, and Andy Roddick, and the Williams sisters, and he's the one that basically got the Williams sisters on the going. They moved from LA to Florida to train with Rick at the academy, and there's a whole movie about it coming out actually. But Rick, to this day, he runs the Rick Macy Tennis Academy in Boca Raton now, and his love is just training junior tennis players, so the elite ones who are on their way to being pros. He's not gone on to he's never gone on tour to coach pro players, they come for tune-ups and to work with him, but he's not gone on to that. He stayed true to doing this developmental tennis, and there's nobody better in the world at it than him. And that's kind of it's a really interesting thing when you're crystal clear on what your joy is, but so much of it is the mental game. Like, I owe so much of my mental attitude to Rick Macy. I mean, introducing me to, positive thinking, and he was constant. We would train for 3 hours a day, doing drills, and then he would do a little sermon, basically, motivational talks in between things, and the power of your setting goals and all the stuff there. So I think when you talked about the elite quarterback stuff like that, you had a different energy in your voice. That's
yes.
Like, if you're saying, so when I gave you permission to do that, it's like, well, if I could do anything, this is what I would love to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we got to begin with that then, because that's a really high stakes thing for people. Like, if you say you groom high school quarterbacks for D1 scholarships, that's a journey, right? That you think if we did a case study of kind of 10, good quarterbacks coming into their sophomore year kind of thing, and or how long, where would you ultimately want to intervene with someone? You're saying
I think to have the biggest impact, I wouldn't. You would really need to get them at, like, before they get to high school, but then as well, like, there's talented high school kids where, they just need to know that mental part to get them over that hump.
Yeah.
So there's two parts. I would want that before they get to high school, and then the guy with the talented arm, let's fix them.
Yeah.
And see if we can get them to that elite level.
And that's kind of an interesting thing when you start to look at the level here of where you can have an intervention with someone. Could you, I guess, would you be able to make an impact on someone who's in their junior year or whatever, coming into before it's time to go to scholarship level?
Yes, I could. It would just, the process have to be speeded up. I think it's possible. There's going to be more work involved because the window's shorter, but it's possible.
Yeah. And that's where I wonder where the payoff, the amount of time and the payoff for the ultimate, for the parents, right? Because when you look at this, is if the parents are looking at paying money for college, or paying, or getting a scholarship, that's a big win if they could get a scholarship especially to a D1 school. That's a $100,000 or $200,000 outcome for someone, probably.
Yes.
So I wonder, this reminds me, I had a client who does elite, they do packaging, branding, management for hockey players. And they were running, we put together a directory of U.S. hockey scholarships as the lead generator, So you wonder, like, how do you find the parents who are, or the kids and the parents who are looking for, who are aspiring to a scholarship, and then present them with the information that they need to, that anybody who downloads the guide to the U.S. hockey scholarship programs is someone who is likely to now want information on how to make their kids stand out and how to improve the chances that they're going to get that scholarship.
Understand. So would it be like me creating a funnel?
You got to think about how you can, you got to be able to show that you can do it first off,
Got it.
And I think that's part of the thing is you've got to think about if I was part of the thing that these football dynasties, are built on is they've got unwavering commitment to a single goal, which is win the championship, right? Everything about it is that. And so when you look at what would that look like, if you're thinking about it, that there's some building process to it, right? Like what would be the very best thing that you could do is to find one or two or a handful of elite prospects that you could work with to show your game, So Rick, I'll tell you what built the Rick Macy legend, what built the entire thing was Tommy Ho. And Tommy Ho, when Rick Macy came into to Greenleaf, which is here in Orlando, that he took over a program that was really like a corporate program. It was a convention kind of place, and he would run really great like tournament programs for team building and people who were there for corporate outings. And but they had this great facility, and he started a junior program there, and it's really he picked Tommy Ho, who came to them as a young kid. He was 8 or 9 years old when he started working with Rick, but he went on, and he's to this day the most successful junior tennis player ever in the history of the United States. He's won more and every single U.S. age group title.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way through 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s multiple times. And all of the notoriety that came from all eyes on Tommy, and then that brought Andy Roddick, and that brought Vincent Spadea, and that brought Ivan Barron, and that brought Lindsay Davenport, and that brought the Williams sisters and Jennifer Capriati. All of this kind of trickle-down effect started with pouring his heart into doing the very best thing with this one. I mean, it's an unlikely scenario. Greenleaf is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. And Tommy Ho is from Winter Haven here, where I live. And Tommy Ho was, he's a great talent, but there's no way that he would have gone and done that without the guidance and shaping from Rick.
I understand.
And so I think that your opportunity, putting yourself in a position to be able to do that, to make a name for yourself. All it takes is one thing. You're the, you look at, here's an amazing example of it. No matter what you think about LeVar Ball, you've got to give the guy credit for.
You're right.
There's no way around it that he, his shooting off his mouth the whole time, the big thing, but to start with an intention. When he first laid eyes on his wife, Tina, that was the intention. She's tall. She's 6'2" or something. He's 6'5", and he said, "I don't know what we're going to do something together." And he, their whole intention from before anything happened was, "I'm going to have, we're going to make the 3 best basketball players ever in the history of the world."
Yes.
And now they're the only people in history that have 2 brothers picked in the top 3 of the NBA draft.
Yes.
LiAngelo's about to get on. See, it's an interesting, you feel bad for LiAngelo Ball because all he's ever done is win.
Yes.
And it's like, it's just, he's going to get a chance here with Detroit now. But but LeVar, now that all 3 of them are in the league, basically, he's done it. He set his intention there.
Yes.
If that, he could start a big baller program about how he did it. I mean, why wouldn't you? I can't imagine that nobody's offered him the chance to write a book about that yet.
You're right.
Yeah. So I think, and some of that things, all that stuff, there's a lot of work before the payoff comes. But if you look at the, and the good thing about football is there's longevity in it and stability. It's a long historical thing. I think there's still going to be a place for it, the tradition of it. It's not going to all of a sudden go away, I don't think,
I think the biggest scare was when the concussion stuff came out. It's looking like it survived it. So I think that was the biggest hurdle there. And I think it was a good thing because it changed the game, made it safer.
Yeah. So I wonder, if you start to think about that, what would it take to build, an elite quarterback program?
I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah. And that's part of the thing, right, is when you're going through stuff like this is trying to think through, like, what does it look like? Does it fit? I mean, you did get more excited about that's like that single target audience there is.
Yes, I could. Man, that helps me a lot.
Well, I wonder, that there's an opportunity if you create this thing, then you start to think, well, who corporately would love to get behind something like that? Like, McDonald's has been forever a sponsor of developmental basketball, Nike, I guess, has done something similar in football. Who are the Under Armour, I guess.
Under Armour, yes.
Yeah.
Even some insurance companies have sponsored the big the playoffs on State Farm. Yeah. So
So I think when you start to think about your opportunity there, I think that's a pretty great. It would be really neat to think about the story there, of what you're looking to build.
Yeah,
because the sky's the limit.
It is when you look at it from that perspective. It is.
Yes. Have you been to who's that quarterback coach that Tim Tebow would work with? There's a coach in LA that people just flock to see him.
Yeah, Steve Clarkson. That's one, okay. And then there's another one in San Diego who's worked with some pretty top name guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And those guys have, I mean, it seems like a pretty steady business.
Yes. And they only work with college guys. They're pretty exclusive.
Yes. I think it's an interesting thing that if that's kind of what, when Rick started out with Tommy in the under 12s, wasn't long within a year is playing nationally and then winning, winning all the national titles. By the time he was 9, he was the under 12 champion nationally. Yeah. And then it just built from there, right? Then all the kids would come to camps and get prepared for the Orange Bowl and for, the nationals, all the summer events, and then doing summer camps, and then launched the academy where people would come and live there. I mean, we would live right there at Greenleaf and train, and it's a great environment. IMG bought the Nick Bollettieri Academy.
Oh, that's what the property is for IMG? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, IMG's got a big academy here in Bradenton. Not Rick Macy. Rick Macy is independent still owns, but IMG bought the Nick Bollettieri Academy.
Wow.
Yeah. It's an amazing, IMG has built and again, they're a sports management company, right? So it's like an incubator for them. It's like seed angel investing. They're getting paid. They've turned their development stuff into a profit center because they're all these all the parents paying for their kids to come to full immersion stuff.
Wow.
Pays
That's
for
amazing,
all the development, right? And then, of course, they've already got a relationship with them by the time they go to D1 and then by the time they turn pro.
And their relationship pays off.
They've got a relationship to be their management. So it's a long-term model. It's a long-term, build.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting, right? I mean,
it's very interesting. Very interesting when you look at it that way. Very interesting.
Yeah. But you have to start somewhere. And so I think that, because a lot of it is that Rick could have picked anybody really with any, and I'm saying, and I love Tommy Ho, but he's not an athlete per se, right? I mean, he had incredible focus and really smart and really, he did have athletic reflexes and ability, but literally he couldn't throw a football, shoot a basketball. He's not a well-rounded athlete.
Yes.
He was a machine that knows how to play tennis. And it was like chess to him, but he had all the physical components of it. He had the ground strokes and the serve and all the components that go into it. So when you go those, it was his mental game, his mental toughness, his mental understanding of the game and his competitiveness that really drove everything, not his athletic ability,
Understand.
Yeah. And I think you could say that same thing about Tom Brady, right? When you look at that, the fun thing is to see the NFL Combine
Yes.
videos, right? Of his
Yes.
thing. He wasn't really what you would say as a physical specimen.
No.
Right. Not like some of the kids coming in today.
No. But mentally, he's the best probably who ever did it.
Yeah. And so I think there's an interesting opportunity for you. How many quarterbacks do you have that know you right now, or that you know?
That know me? That probably about 12
okay.
to 15.
Yeah. And, you start to look at how many quarterbacks are there.
There's a lot.
When you take, you just wonder about that, right? Like hey, Alexa, how many high schools are in the United States?
The United States has 37,100 secondary schools.
37,000 high schools. So, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, you look at that, that's a lot of quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
Even if you take the top 20% of those, you're still at 5,000 quarterbacks, potential as the thing. So you look at that's a pretty, that's an interesting thing. It's nice to have Alexa, though. Alexa, how many Division I football programs are there in the United States?
Here's something I found on the web. According to NCSSports.org, with over 890 college football teams all across the United States, it's tough to even know what all the options are.
890 college football programs. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing when you look at that. That's Division I. It's an interesting. It's all the math, right? That you've got all these 37,000 high schools. Every one of those quarterbacks is, looking to be the guy who gets one of the jobs. 37,000 quarterbacks competing for 890 positions.
Wow.
Right there, that's something alone, right?
That's eye-opening.
Yeah. So I think there's so now it becomes, what I would start to bookend this around is who owns that world of the aspiring quarterback. Who has their attention? Who's creating content or programs for? Like, if I am an aspiring NFL quarterback or Division I quarterback, what am I paying attention to? What would I really want to see?
Got it. I'm just writing that stuff down. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting, right? Because when you look at the 37,000 of them, and I'm just thinking that's just one quarterback representing each of those schools. But there's probably, that's not accounting for the backup quarterback who's a sophomore this year.
Yes.
Who's coming into the thing, right? So you've got 70,000. It's probably 100,000 quarterbacks that are to choose from, And when you get down to that, the 1%, the top 1,000, who's ranking these? Is there anybody ranking the quarterback rankings? I'm sure there are. That's the good thing about football, is that there's a deep scouting program, right? There's an infrastructure to football.
Yeah.
just like tennis, there's a ranking system. There's a way to get people there. So, showing people up on that, and then showing improvements in the ranks.
Got it. Wow. Well, the pictures are a lot clearer.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing when you start, a couple of books I would recommend is Rick Macy has a book on Amazon that would be a good for you to hear the stories kind of thing, because it tells the whole, the mindset of the evolution of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good, start,
Okay.
And then there's another, what was the other book I was just going to recommend? Vivid Vision by Cameron Herold.
Read it. Great book. Read it.
Right. So there you go. So that's what I think, even from the beginning of the call, I think that this feels like a more vivid vision of what you're excited about. There's some emotion in that.
Yes. Yes. A lot more clear with working with quarterbacks.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
I do too. Thank you.
So I think these 12, you need to start, it would be a great thing to treat these quarterbacks like you're responsible for helping them.
Got it.
The ones you know right now. Start with what's around you. Just grab one of them. I mean, Rick went way overboard on Tommy because the investment is in developing his ideas and his methods,
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to start pouring into him.
Yeah.
I will start pouring into him.
Awesome. Well, keep me posted, because this would be a fun thing to see what this turns into for you.
I will. Do I just email that email that I have? Okay, I will.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. I can't wait. Well, that was fun.
It was fun. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Charles. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And there we have it. Another great episode. Thanks for listening in. If you want to continue the conversation, we'll go deeper in how the 8 Profit Activators can apply to your business. 2 things you can do. Right now, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com and you can download a copy of the More Cheese Less Whiskers book, and you can listen to the back episodes, of course, if you're just listening here on iTunes. Secondly, the thing that we talk about in applying all of the 8 profit activators are part of the breakthrough DNA process. And you can download a book and a scorecard and watch a video all about the 8 profit activators at breakthroughdna.com. And that's a great place to start the journey in applying this scientific approach to growing your business. That's really the way we think about Breakthrough DNA, as an operating system that you can overlay on your existing business and immediately look for insights there. So that's it for this week. Have a great week, and we will be back next time with another episode of More Cheese, Less Whiskers.